valley where the girls get up. Wait a minute. What's up, Alphas? It's your boys, Alphas, and made in their theory. And I see you, Alphas, the building. Just for a second, like, subscribe, comment, all those things, your thoughts on everything we're talking about. But for a second, can you please just give a like? What's up? But we have an important topic. Honor to my uncle whose birthday it was, honor to my father who passed away. We have topics about men's mental health, jail rehabilitation, and childhood trauma, all coming from the show P Valley. And a man showed up this season, Big Teak. You don't know who Big Teak is, I'm gonna explain it to you as we go. He is basically the bodyguard of this up and coming rapper from Mississippi on this show, P Valley, that they were in jail together. Lil Murder got stabbed. Big Teak went to the hole for taking care of the man that stabbed him. You learn a lot about Big Teak. And I know, let's get this out the way. Let's get out the way. Yes, he's a down low brother. He is gay. It's not important. We're going to talk about that in the Lil Murder character breakdown on Zell Theory, which I see in episode 7. We're going to bring it up. It's something that we're going to bring up. I know he said that he can't be who he want to be because the world don't want him to be that. We're going to talk about that. But this episode is about Big Teak. This character breakdown, this Zell Theory, this overall 99, keep it 99 theory is about Big. And the reason I said shout out to my uncle whose birthday was the other day, he passed away, and my father who passed away on the day of his birthday, they went to Vietnam. They started drinking. Bring it up as a thing because people don't want to talk about it, even though I consider them still young men. They're still young men. So these young men started drinking because of the things they saw in war, the traumatic experiences. Big Teak had a similar situation. So we're going to go over the first theory, the first thing in honor of them, trauma. Big Teak case, we're talking about childhood trauma. They went to war and saw things they probably shouldn't. Started smoking, which they didn't drink. Well, I don't know my uncle. But Big Teak saw his mama. By the way, trigger warning for anybody that's listening. I hope I don't try to be sensitive around these topics so it don't trigger you. But we got to discuss this. Big Teak witnessed as he saw the picture of him hiding in the closet of his mother. Took an iron sheet, he said, across his 8-month-old sibling, his other 2 siblings. The reason the 3 tears on his face, he saw that and it traumatized him. He went in the house, he had these visions, couldn't see light, he couldn't see darkness because those are what those do. Those are those childhood traumas. Those are those things that hit at us. Those are the things we hold on to. Those are those things that define us because you see it all the time. That's a bad kid. But what's a bad kid? A bad kid is a misunderstood kid. A bad kid becomes what you say he is. Why? Because I have issues, right? No one talks about my childhood trauma. Nobody talks about my family situation, my parenting, where I'm raised, my environment. Everybody know, if you know sociology, that your environment is something that holds on to you. Your environment is something that surrounds you. That's why you see crime in poorly black areas when people are on top of each other, especially in projects and stuff like that. Poor white people usually have trailers from family things, even though it's crime still high there, but it's not the same because they're not on top of each other because their parents, their family members own land, do a lot of different scenarios. But when you stacked on top of each other, all of a sudden the crime wave is more because we're right here together in a place that we don't own. We have trouble, right? So our environment causes this. His mom was clearly in a halfway house. Therefore, he had trauma because therefore she did something horrible, which impacted him. The same way the war did with my uncle and the father and all those things that affected them, caused them to drink and do other things. His sent him on the path to prison. Sent him on the path as a killer. Sent him on a path of doing things to protect those he's loyal to. Therefore, he's the bodyguard. He's the ultimate antithesis of a bodyguard. A troubled person who will do anything for the people he loves, although very troubled. As he said, he can't see the light because it's nothing but darkness, because he was exposed to nothing but darkness. And I can see that a lot of people probably told him that he was a bad kid. He was a horrible child. He was this and that. And often we overlook that childhood trauma in our environment can cause us to be these. That's not talked about in the Black community. That's not talked about in society a lot, how our environment is raised around. Instead, we want to blame whatever situation is instead of looking at it the bigger picture. How can we prevent this? Which goes into my second problem. Jail rehabilitation. Now, it is a time where the prison system was about rehabilitation. You learned about Malcolm X and how he learned how to read, and he became educated in the jail. You hear a lot of those stories in the 70s where people became educated and read, became pastors, became good people, but they was rehabilitated. They was offered certain things, but now, as you know, prison has become an industry, or as a, how do I say this, or as a capitalistic entity, which is a money-making business. So if it's to make money, as we see this man in New Orleans or Louisiana, I don't want to say just New Orleans, the man from Louisiana, the sheriff said, we losing our good workers so they're getting out early for good behavior. This law is terrible. He's worried more about labor. He's worried more about labor than he is about somebody being rehabilitated. And this is what it's become. Because you don't hear those cases anymore where I got educated in prison. You see more propagandized or make you a better worker, but you don't see, oh, I got educated in prison. Oh, I got smarter in prison. Rather, they tell me something, I do it because I done got used to it. I've been here 50 years. And we talk about Big Teak because he didn't get rehabilitated. No one, I guarantee you, no one in that prison talked about his trauma. Most prisons don't have psychologists unless it's like a blue collar prison. They don't have psychologists check on the people and why are you this way, why are you do that. It goes back to that childhood trauma. No one asks. No, your teacher's not asking you really what's going on in your home anymore. Some will, the Mason teacher, but everyone's not asking you. No one's asking you these things and why are you like this, what is your environment. They put you in a hole and you work and you live out your sentence, and we don't care about educating you. We don't care about dealing with your trauma or your thing. And it's not always the case, but most of the time you ask people that was in prison, that's what happens. I've had plenty of family members in prison. I've had plenty of family members that are police officers. They know this is true. They don't deal with that. You go work out, you go in the hole, you get strong, you get bigger, you come out buffer. That's the situation. You're not getting rehabilitated. The whole prison system is basically a sham. It's just to lock you away to keep you in society now. Not to make you better. So you can never deal with your childhood trauma or your men's mental health, which we will talk about in a minute, because you have never had to deal with it. No one is trying to rehabilitate you. They're not trying to make you a person. They're trying to make you a worker. I could go in the education stream and go talk about why that's that, but Big Teak is this example. He never got healing. All that time in jail, he never got healing. He never got educated on how the world's changing. I have a cousin who was in prison for this world different. I don't know if I can. I kind of want to go back in the house. I don't want to go back to prison because I don't know how the world is. This is way different than what I remember. Not only are you not being rehabilitated, you're going to a world that you don't even know. World you're not educated on. That's scary. Just imagine you going by yourself to a world that you don't understand. Everyone got a cell phone. Everybody's on TikTok. Everybody's on their phone looking. Can't get a good conversation. Everybody acting different. The culture is different. Vibe is different. The way people talk to you different. Even your family and friends treat you different because you're in jail. All those different things, and you feel like an outsider. He said in the thing, my thing changed, ain't it? A lot of things change. This is an issue. You're not getting rehabilitated. You're not getting educated. You're not learning. You're nothing. You're just working, and they let you out. You don't know what else to do, and usually they go back. They go back, right? They are going back into the place in which they came from, and they get more work out of you. If you're an older guy who's been there 40, 50 years, you can just train the younger people. Easy system. Easy system. You really don't have to pay you that much. You can give you commissary and you can get some decent food compared to what you know. I don't have to pay you that $10 an hour to do this work that I normally have to pay. This 15 hours is $20 an hour. I don't have to pay you that. And before we go on to the last thing, men's mental health, I want to say like and subscribe. There's a super thanks button at the bottom. You don't have to do it, but if you want to help this company grow and do podcasts and get on person sets, super thanks can help out a lot. A like, a comment, all those things can help out a lot. And I really appreciate you. If you want more, just let me know. Who do you want me to do a character breakdown on? I'm doing Allison either tomorrow or Saturday. Allison from Umbrella Academy. If you want to learn about her, I will give you insight. Again, I'm not spoiling. This is not a spoiler video. Outside of his certain parts, this is about a character that's relatively unknown. This is about a character who's relatively unknown, played by an amazing actor who did amazing work. I'm gonna shout him out in the comment section. So go show him some love. Tell him he did an amazing job. And Allison, I'm gonna do the same thing with her. I'm gonna shout her out and her character, her actor. Shout out in the comments, all that thing. That will be either Friday or Saturday. And it's about black women being tired of holding everybody else up. That's what that's gonna be. This one, we're going back to finally men's mental and how society doesn't care about men. They don't care about men. They don't care about men's well-being. Not even men. That's why it's hard to care. When your own kind, especially black men, your own kind don't care about your mental health. It's kind of hard to anybody care, right? Your own kind, so they kind of hate you at times. Your own kind seem like enemy. Go on the internet, seem like black women your enemy too. By the way, I'm not saying this is real life, because in real life, you don't get that same black women, black men love black women to a degree, for the most part, because if you look at the numbers, race on race dating, it's black men and black women are number 1 and 2. Black women being mostly married to black men, and black men being second to marrying black women. Successful black women marry less black men than successful black men do, which is an interesting stat. But again, all that doesn't matter, right? What matters is men's mental health. Because you can date who you love, you can love who you love, all that good and well, but at the end of the day, men's mental health is what's not something that somebody said on Twitter, some dude hate on you, some woman said this. The truth is, no one cares. Not even you. Do you care about someone that's mental health? Maybe you do. But I want to touch on that because I want you to care. I want you to go to therapy. I want you to talk to your pastor. I want you to talk to your girl. I want you to talk to your family members. Say, I'm not okay if you're not okay. Because I know you're watching this right now. And you be like, what does he know about me? Because to the guy like Big Teak, I know I ain't mentioned his name, but I'm going to tell a little bit about his story in this part. But to a man like Big Teak, who feel like darkness is around him, and see nobody sees him, and the darkness, he can't see the light because no one cares. I care. And I know what you're saying. This dude on the internet said he cared about me. He don't know me. He would not care if he know the things I've done. How could he care about me if he knows the things that I have done in my life? How bad I treated my friends, my family, people like that, all because of my childhood trauma, lack of rehabilitation, my mental health, all those things. If you knew what I'd done, you can't love me. But do I see you do love me? And I want you to see yourself, and I want you to see others, because there are many like you who might have done something wrong, who might not even done anything wrong, just the mental health is just bad because you feel like you're alone. I see you. So I do encourage you to go to therapy, talk to you got a wife or a girlfriend or husband or a boyfriend, whatever. If you got a pastor, if you got someone that you look up to, someone, you got a teacher if you're younger, a teacher that you feel like you could talk to, I recommend you doing that. Therapist, anyone. Let's talk. Maybe your teacher is your thing to your therapist. I gotta get comfortable talking. Even if she doesn't listen to you, It could just be a step to go to a therapist who will listen. It could be a step to go to your family who might listen to you. And sometimes they won't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna pretend like everything's hunky dory. Maybe they won't listen to you. But I'm encouraging you right now. Search for yourself, to love yourself, to find yourself. And I know men's mental health is hard. Like, I don't want you to be like Big Teak at the end of the episode. That even though he had a person there, that man there, and right beside him that loved him, I don't want you to ever feel you have lost. So before I get to that point, I want to encourage you to search your mental health. And I also want to thank you for listening. Because I just want to get this out the way. I will do one on, like I said, Allison, I will do one thing. Thank you for listening. This is Overall 99. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We go podcasts. We talk about Marvel. We talk about TV shows, but we also talk about real things. We have Man Cave on Mondays. We have Just a Fan on Thursdays. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's recorded on Tuesdays. We have other shows. Do You Hear Me? We have other shows like Locker Room Talk and other things that just show up on this show. That's sometimes funny. Hope you can be entertained by it, and sometimes we're serious, like on Man Cave, in which we talk about things that people don't want to touch on. Even this is something it's hard to touch on, but we're here. So I want to appreciate you. It's a like button, notification bell, all that stuff. Thanks, super thanks again. If you want to support, help the channel, help the business grow, where we can get all together and have better shows and better equipment and better things. Hit that super thanks, hit them super chats and all that stuff. Like and subscribe, comment. That's the best thing you can do, because you don't require much. Just like and subscribe can get advertised videos on YouTube. I appreciate you. And remember to keep stumping. Something amazing can happen. This is Zell's Theory. Keep It 99 video on Big Teak and all the problems that he has going over the character and all that thing. I know it wasn't in depth on the character, but I wanted to talk about the 3 issues I saw that he had. How society deals with it and how we can deal with it. I wanted to start on the 2 and touch on why it's bad, and I want to leave you with something positive at the end. So I appreciate you for watching. Thank you. See you later on today when we do a Just a Fan with Miss Marvel live. Peace.